Hello, everybody, and how is everyone doing? I think I should start saying Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We only have exactly 1 month to go. Today is the last day of the month. Um, nice to be back. I've been away, and as I said, every time I get some minutes, I will be coming. We are not very serious with YouTube, but whenever I get time, I love this space, so I'll be coming. Being away didn't mean that I didn't know what was happening. I think I've seen one or two things. Now we have baby Maisha. I would like to congratulate Rocio. It's never an easy job to get out a baby, and at that time it's really stressful to the mother, to the father, and to the parents of the expectant mother. So also I want to congratulate those who are around Rocio, Marwa, and the parents, and even the Marwa's parents at home. Usually it is a very heavy time with anxiety. So Rocio, congratulations for bringing baby Maisha to this world. Um, there was a case of Marwa leaving you to go and sleep. I don't want to go back to that, but that was not really expected. But again, people react differently to such situations. There are men who be in the labor room, and there are those who actually want to just hear your wife has had a baby boy, a baby girl, and they just want to know if everything is okay and completed, and therefore they can pick up from there. So I'm not going to blame Marwa for that, although Marwa, you might also come to understand that the whites are different from the African tradition. Like for me, both of my babies, the father came when everything was done, and when he took up from there. It didn't really occur to me that it was a serious thing, but of course, the job was on me, not on him. So his prayers, his concern, and him clearing my medical bills, that's what was really important to me. We did well, and the boys are strong. And so I just want to encourage Rocio that take heart and just, that's how it is. Some of these things it's the grace was given to women, not to the men. So we bear the pain and a lot of emotions mixed, like the baby comes out, and the next thing you are told, you should be providing the food from your own body, like I had you saying yesterday. That is something also that really, really surprised me. Like they put the baby immediately on your boobs, like they should start sucking so that the milk. That was weird. Anyways, another thing I would like to say is that I realize that nowadays most of the girls are experiencing a very long labor pain, and even a longer pushing. The time when there's the period where you feel you have the labor pains. The baby is to feel like the baby's kicking a bit too hard, and maybe more often. And then there's the time when now you get the push. There's some natural force that comes within, and you like the baby wants to come out. That should be a very short time when in normal cases, but I realize also that takes so long. Like women can do that for an hour. Just pushing the baby out takes an hour, and that sometimes is very dangerous for the baby. And so I would like to say an experience I had. When I was having my firstborn, I didn't have a car, and I used to go to work, and I worked until I think last minute or something. Yes, I worked until last minute because my time they used to give us only 2 months with the baby, and then you rush back to work. And so I gave birth, and the time for labor was shorter actually, because my labor pain started at around 6 in the morning when the daddy was leaving for work, and by 1, okay, 6 in the morning, it wasn't so intense. So I told my sister maybe we prepare, and everything was ready anyway. I took breakfast, I rested a bit, and by 10 I walked down to the hospital. My hospital just next to my home. So I walked down to the hospital, Uh, and by now we reached around 10:30. I was prepared. By 12 I was on my bed, or let's say by 11 I was on my bed. Actually not my bed, but the room I was getting, where the dancing takes place. So I danced until around 1. When I took lunch, and then after that I the dancing became too intense, and then they did the poo removals and everything, and within a few minutes I was in the labor room, and I pushed maybe thrice. Like it comes, you rest a bit, the second one comes, doesn't come out, then the third one, I think the fourth, the baby was out. It didn't take like 15 minutes. My second born, um, my labor, I didn't even feel labor, but I had some signs of that led me to go to the hospital that evening when I came from work. So when I went to the hospital, the nurse said that I had dilated for 2 centimeters. So they refused that I go spend back at home because I wasn't feeling any pain. I didn't expect the baby then. It was a 1 month earlier. So I went, of course, they checked me. When it reached in the morning, I wasn't feeling anything. The baby had not moved. It was 2 centimeters. So I told them, I don't think I'm expecting this baby today. But the doctor came and actually busted my water. Instead of checking how far the baby was or the dilation was, he just busted my water. And the pain started. I went through that pain for 8 hours, 8 hours labor pain. Until now, I was supposed to be taken to the theater, and the doctor was not there. They had to call him. I think he had rushed for another emergency. So I was waiting for the doctor with the pain, and the baby's not coming out. And so towards around 2, some minutes to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, in the theater waiting for the doctor, the baby started coming out, like the push. Now the normal push for baby coming out started. So they rushed me again back to the labor room. And then after there, I took some time. I think I pushed maybe 6 or 7 times. I remember my firstborn, I pushed for about three times, and the baby was out. For the lastborn, I pushed more than 5 times, and so it took longer. It took longer, and all this, I think, because of my lifestyle had changed. Okay, so I want to tell the girls this issue of long, elongated labor pains, elongated delivery period is actually brought by the life we live. I remember our mothers used to give birth even in the garden. I remember our mothers could even give birth in the garden. I remember of an issue of a lady in my village who went to dig usually, and she had her baby um, uh, in the maize plantation when she was, because the labor just started, and she sat there, and because she had had more children, she had experience. She just had the babies when, but good luck, she was just next to home, and they had a big village, so she called out and people came and found the baby there, and she was assisted to taken home, and then the next day she was taken to hospital to check. Next day also, I don't know what happened, but she had her baby in the maize plantation. So which means they used to work, it was physical, a lot of physical work, and that actually prepared the way for the baby. And also something about Marwa. Marwa is a bit traditional, but he just doesn't know how to handle this case, and probably he did not prepare his wife properly, how maybe he might, how he feels about the whole labor and the whole delivery situation. Probably he was being forced to stay around, and also being that the labor pain had really taken so long. The labor and the delivery thing had taken so long. He also got tired. We cannot blame him. But Rocio must remember that in Africa setup, most of, like Marwa seems to be a bit traditional, and therefore those who are going to marry Africans who are traditional like Marwa, remember our forefathers, our grandfathers used to marry many wives, and they used to have their own hut in the middle of the home, and each wife had a hut around the homestead. They had a homestead that was well fenced with a gate, and therefore every time a woman was married, the man built her a hut somewhere. So if he had seven wives, you could find up there are seven huts, because the boys were supposed to build next to the gate. So whenever a lady or the wife was expecting a child, and the day arrives for getting the baby, the man was basically in his hut with his friends. The hut, I mean, the small house where he sleeps. And actually that's where he does, it's like his office, it's like his house where he can spend when let's say those days when they're not speaking with the wife or whatever, he's just in his heart, and every activity is done in his heart. When he needs to go and see his wife, he will of course move maybe later when the kids have slept. I don't know what used to happen. Then he goes to his wife's home. Okay, house. So they were never in around where everything was happening. The woman was supposed to be there with the friends and other women or midwives that were supporting her to bring the baby. And then when the baby came out, the message was taken to the man in his heart, like, your wife has put to bed and the baby is a baby boy or a baby girl, everything is okay, or there's an issue. Actually most of them used to give birth in the village, in the homestead. So probably that is how our marwa is. So Rocio, you have to know that you're dealing with people who have a culture of actually not being there when you're giving birth. You expect your baby, they will make sure you have everything, but the moment, they might not be with you during that moment when you're getting your baby. So forgive our brother for that. That I just needed to mention. Otherwise, congratulations. And we expect more. I think today I will leave it at that. I have many things to say, but for now, I was just coming back to mention. I think that touched my heart. And Rocio, you are a very strong lady. Congratulations. Keep it up. Keep it up. Marriage is not easy. Things will be said, but finally you will enjoy. If you really want to stay with our brother, finally you will you make your mind if you want to stay with him. So create a bulletproof jacket. The pierce but doesn't get to you. Bring up your family and all will be fine. Bye bye.